Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan if you are new here, and I am a cruise ship performer, so I am a professional figure skater for Royal Caribbean, and I'm currently on board the Adventure of the Seas, and this is my second contract. Today I wanted to switch it up and film something a little bit different on my channel. I know how much you guys enjoy my daily vlogs and things like that around the ship, and I really love filming those for you, but I thought it would also be very useful and helpful to sit down and kind of share all about the reality of ship life, what rules we have in place, and just what our day-to-day life looks like on board. This video is also heavily inspired by you guys because you guys sent so many different questions wanting to know about my daily life on the job and just living on a cruise ship, since it is more of a non-traditional job. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I really hope you enjoy. So without further ado, we're gonna hop on into the video, and if you have any other questions you want to know, just drop them below and I will give you a little response. Otherwise, follow my socials if you're interested, and let's get on into it. So I've taken the liberty and I have written down a bunch of different topics to talk about just to keep me on track, but there is no set like order of things that I will be covering. There's just a lot of information to get through, so this is keeping me on track. So the topic that most of you seem interested in knowing about and wanting to learn more is like my food accommodations, and I have briefly touched on this in a few different Q&As, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. So as a crew member, we do have a different designated like cafeteria than the guests do. So on this ship, which is a Voyager class ship, we have the crew mess and the staff mess. So there are two different messes for us to eat in. The crew mess is located on deck 2 and the staff mess is located on deck 5. I always eat in the staff mess, otherwise I will just grab like a banana or some fruit in the crew mess if it's before a show and I need just a quick bite to eat and the staff mess is not yet open. But in any case, we do have designated hours for meals. So the mess is open from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Lunch is open from 11:30 to 2:30 p.m. and dinner is open from 6 to 9 p.m. So that is for the staff mess, and then I want to say crew mess is just a half hour earlier than those times. On my previous contract, I was on Allure of the Seas, which is an Oasis class ship. On the Oasis class ships, there is only one mess, but it is significantly larger, and the hours are different, so the mess never closes on big ships, maybe for like 2 hours in the middle of the night for cleaning, but it is open 24 hours, so you can go pretty much anytime and have something to eat, which is really, really nice. As far as the food selection, it is different than what the guests get. It's not as large of a spread as the Windjammer would be for guests. They usually have a vegetarian option, meat option, there's always a fish of the day. Usually there's one soup. So there's a soup of the day, we have lots of fruit, jello, there's always a bunch of desserts, there's always apples in the mess, and there's a salad bar as well. So there is a good amount of options. Like I said, not nearly as many as the guests get, but those are paying customers and we live here. But it is really great because we do not have to pay for our meals, so I'm very thankful for that. Sometimes there are theme nights, so the other night they had breakfast for dinner. Sometimes they have a Greek night, like a Mediterranean night. Sometimes there's Mexican night. So there is a good selection of food, and depending on who the F&B manager is, kind of just depends on the food that we receive. Also on the topic of food, normally before COVID, pre-COVID times, we as entertainers could eat in the Windjammer. The last like half hour it is open for dinner, but now unfortunately we do not have that privilege. However, my cruise director is amazing and he was able to get us the option of eating in the dining room on a port day, so we can go and eat in the dining room. We have to make reservations if it's not too busy, but that is something that's really nice that we have. But other places around the ship we are not allowed to use unless it is a specialty restaurant. So for example, we can go eat at a Zumi because it's a specialty restaurant and we can pay, but we are not allowed to use the Cafe Promenade. I was able to eat there before the guests came on board during install, which was really nice, but now that guests are here, we do not have that privilege. Moving on to my next topic, uniforms. So we do have uniforms, they're called blues. So we do have a uniform we have to wear if we are in guest areas. Of course, we're walking around crew areas, we don't need to be dressed in uniform, but if I step foot in guest areas, I need to be either wearing my uniform along with my name tag. Now we have two name tags, so we have our name tag and then we have our smile behind the mask. Or if it is after 6 p.m. we do need to be in smart casual, unless it is formal night. Then we do have to wear our formal gowns or a suit if you're a guy. So I don't wear my uniform all too much. On a normal basis, I don't really wear it because I'm not regularly in guest areas. But if we have PAX drill or just all crew drill, I have to wear my uniform. And I also wear my blues during all skates. So when I'm working all skates for the guests, I am in my uniform. Kind of going alongside dress code, we are not allowed to wear open-toed shoes on the I-95 or pretty much anywhere else on the ship unless you're on like the pool deck or something like that. You do have to wear closed-toed shoes. So if you go to the incinerator, for instance, which is where we throw out all our trash, you have to have closed-toed shoes. If you go to the mess, you have to have closed-toed shoes, so on and so forth. It's just for safety because there are trolleys coming through the I-95 and you don't want to have anything drop or run over your toes because that is how injuries happen. It's just safer for everyone. Also going alongside dress code, we do have to have our shoulders covered if we are eating or sitting in the mess, just for hygiene reasons. So that is one thing that we always need to keep in mind. And we are also expected to look the part, so we can't have like a ton of facial hair. I mean, I don't grow facial hair, but the guys can't have like messy facial hair. It needs to either be shaved if they're in the show or cleanly kept if you work in another department. And as far as like piercings go, you can't have any face piercings. You can have ear piercings, and they just have a standard for how they want their employees to look while they are on duty. Since we are already on the topic of clothing, I'm just going to talk about laundry. I know that's not a really exciting topic, but I feel like a lot of you always are very curious about how laundry works on board. So we do have laundry for the crew. It is free. The only thing we do have to pay for is detergent. I bought mine from Slopchest. I just have the Tide Pods. It's very, very easy. If I was at home, I would use liquid detergent, but these are just easy to throw in with my load and we're good to go. But they do have a few different places on board where we can do our laundry. I go to the one on twin deck because it's pretty much right below my cabin. There's one midship by HR, and then there's more also on back deck. Let's quickly talk about cabin amenities and living arrangements and things like that. So if you have been watching my videos, then you do know I do have a roommate, so I share a cabin with Luba, who is also in the Ice Cast. As an entertainer and someone in the Ice Cast, we usually always have a roommate from the Ice Cast. And we do have bunk beds, so they are twin-size beds, which is more than enough room for me, but of course if you're a little larger it might be more of a tight squeeze. We have a shared cabin. It is quite small. I should measure it for you. And we do also have a bathroom we share, but this is nice because we don't have to share it with anyone else. And of course, this is not the case for everyone on board. We have this living arrangement, but depending on your position and your title and how many stripes you have, you may have a different living setup. But as far as my own living arrangement, this is what I live in, and this is what I want to say a majority of the crew members live. A few people have also asked me about cleaning, and we are responsible for cleaning our own cabins. We actually have a friend who works in housekeeping, so we pay him to clean the cabin for us. We usually keep it quite tidy throughout the week. We vacuum and pick up things, take out the trash regularly, so it is always very tidy. But as far as washing the bathroom, I don't really want to do that anymore. I did that last contract, but it's just easier to pay someone to do it, so we just pay him and he does it on his own time, but we are responsible for keeping it clean. And we do have cabin inspection every month, so during drill or right after drill, someone will come in and inspect our cabin to make sure that it's neat, that it's organized, that the trash is taken out, the lights aren't on, there's nothing in the outlets, things like that. So that's pretty much just standard routine for us. And another thing, our cabin does have a mini fridge, which is really nice, so we can put drinks and stuff in there, but we are not allowed to have perishable items. So we can't have food inside of our fridge. We can have granola bars and things like that, but we're not supposed to have fruit or hard-boiled eggs or anything else that needs to be refrigerated. Linen is also free on board, so when we do want to switch our sheets out, we just pull them from our bed, bring them downstairs to linen, and they have new ones to replace them. And yeah, I mean, that's that. Now let's talk about crew areas and amenities for us and things like that. Of course, the crew areas look a lot different than the guest areas, and you're not permitted to be there as a guest, but I will give you a little inside scoop on what you can expect. We do have a crew gym. It is a lot smaller than the guest gym, but we do have a gym for all the crew on board. We usually are also allowed to use the guest gym. Right now we can't because of COVID, but previously we could use the guest gym, which was a really, really nice thing. We also have a designated crew bar, so it's a bar just for the crew. We can go unwind, have a glass of wine or a mixed drink or something like that. It is also a designated smoking area for any smokers on board. I don't smoke, but there are a lot of people on board that do. And the crew bar is also open space, so there are like big cutouts at the back of the ship. We do also have a few spots for like activities and things like that. So we do have a ping pong table in the crew area. We have a foosball table. There's 2 pool tables, and there is an Xbox so people can play video games. And we do also have a slop chest, so it's basically like a little mini market for snacks and any other essentials we may need, like toiletries. That is quite small, but I have shown that a few times, and I do regularly visit there because I like to buy granola bars to have for show days and for just for snack in the room. There is also a computer area for trainings, or if you just want to use the computer for anything else you may need. We do, of course, have the I-95, which I have shown a billion times. It's nothing exciting. It's just a long hallway that connects the front to the back of the ship. It's the entire length of the ship. It's how we get place to place. Yeah, it's called the I-95. I don't know why. It just is. That's also where all the luggage and stuff comes when it is turnaround day and they are sorting the luggage and bringing them to all the different guest cabins. This ship actually has an I-94, so it's a secondary hallway, if you will. So it's on the outer sides of the ship, but there are cabins all along the I-94, so you have to be really quiet if you are walking through here. As far as crew activities go, we do have something in place called crew welfare. So basically there is a representative from all different departments on the ship, and they come together and have monthly meetings on how they can make life on board more enjoyable for the crew. This is absolutely essential right now, especially because we have 0 shore leave. We're not allowed to get off at any of the ports. This has been something that is so necessary on board, and definitely a little bit of a struggle if we're being honest, just because there's only so much you can plan without making it unsafe or risk for spreading COVID. So some of the events that we've had, not just on board adventure, but just in general, they've planned like all crew parties. We haven't had a single all crew party on board adventure, but on the Lure we would have them. We've had movie night on board adventure, so I think we've had 2 or 3 of those. They'll play a newer movie in the theater for us, so the theater will be closed off just for crew members, and they'll provide some snacks and some pop for us to enjoy the movie. That's really nice, and that's a really easy way to keep people spread apart. They might also organize like a day where the slides are open on the ship for the crew members. Crew welfare is also in charge of planning like themed food days in the mess. So we did have like an ice cream day last week, and last month we had Frappuccino day, which was delicious. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, as far as drinking on board goes, you must be 21 to have alcohol. If you are caught drinking and you're underage, you will be fired immediately, so that is a big no-no. But you have to drink responsibly on board no matter what age you are, and you are not allowed to drink more than a .04 BAC off duty. An emergency can happen at any time, and we need to be alert and ready for anything at any given time, even in the middle of the night. So that is why these procedures and these rules are so strict, and they are enforced for a reason. Another thing a lot of people ask me about is the costumes for the ice show. So the costumes are not made specifically for us. They are passed down cast to cast. So when we sign on, we have the costumes already here from the previous cast. So we do also have costumers on board with us, and they basically have us try on our costumes and make any adjustments where needed. So on Adventure, we are cast 39, so these costumes have been around for 39 different contracts. So over 20 years. And we're not allowed to pick our costumes. It is assigned to us based on our track in the show. Another thing a lot of people really are curious about is if I have to maintain a certain look or weight for the show. So when I did apply for the job, I had to send in my measurements. So I had to send in my height and my weight, and I had to send in like a fitness photo of my body so they can kind of see what I look like. However, I really appreciate the fact that we are not weighed. We do not have weigh-ins on the ship, so our weight is not important. I mean, it is to an extent, but we don't need to maintain a specific number. As long as we fit into our costumes and they fit properly, and we do our job well, and we look fit on the ice, then that is totally fine. Something that unfortunately goes along with this conversation, and it is a very sensitive topic, so I'm not going to go much into it, but I do briefly want to say that dieting is not necessary on the ship. We are not required to keep a specific diet. It is entirely up to us how we fuel our bodies and what we eat. It is no one else's business, and we are not forced to follow a specific diet. Whatever works best for your body is what's important, and as long as you are keeping a healthy lifestyle, that is what they focus on most, which I, again, really appreciate. But again, this is a very sensitive topic, so I don't want to go any further into it. I just wanted to quickly mention that. Next order of action is Kronos, which you might be thinking, what the heck is Kronos? So Kronos is a program that the ship uses to track our work hours. So we have to do Kronos every single day. Basically, you just log into the system with our ID number and password, and we have to log our hours. It's very basic, very simple, but we do have to do them every single day. Otherwise, we get into trouble, which is not good. You don't want to do that. And you also don't want to be woken up at 5 in the morning getting yelled at because you forgot to do your Kronos the day before. So it takes all of 2 minutes. There are machines all around the ship, like computers, all around the ship that we can use to do them, and that's that. I can definitely make another video all about the application process and all the other details that goes along with getting a contract, but I just wanted to mention flights and luggage for a contract. So the flights for your contract are provided by the company. You are just given a ticket pretty much and a reservation number, and your living arrangements are also covered. So if they do send you the day before you sign on, they will pay for a hotel room. The company does also reimburse you for your luggage. They don't reimburse you if you bring like 5 different checked bags, but they reimburse you up to $70. Lastly, I will just talk about packages, since I order quite a lot on board, since that's the only other way for us to get things on the ship. So basically there is a location or like a warehouse in Florida, but we send our packages there, and we also include the name of our ship, and from there they distribute all the different packages from the entire fleet and then ship them to Adventure. Most of my orders come from Amazon just because that's most convenient, and Amazon has pretty much everything. and I also have Amazon Prime, so it comes in like a day or two. But you can order from pretty much anywhere. The only thing that is challenging is we're not allowed to order food, so that means no peanut butter for me. Luckily, a lot of you guys have brought me peanut butter with you on your vacation, which is so thoughtful and I really appreciate it. So I do have my peanut butter fix, but I can't order pretty much any kind of food, otherwise it will be taken. So that is the only downfall of it. And since I can't get off with shore leave, I have 0 shore leave, I can't run to a grocery store like I did on my last contract. But yeah, I feel like I've covered a bunch of different topics and kind of given you an overview of what it looks like to live on board. I hope this was informative, and I'm sorry if it was kind of all over the place. There's just so much to talk about. Let me know what you guys think of this video if you enjoyed it, and if there's any other specific questions you have, once again, just comment them below and I will get back to you ASAP. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I'm so grateful for such a supportive community on here and basically YouTube family. I wish I could hug every single one of you, all 36,000 plus. I still can't believe that many of you are interested in my life, and if you are ever on adventure, please come talk to me. I've been so lucky to be able to meet so many of you, actually, so many more of you than I expected. That's just been really fun for me. I would love to meet you if you are ever on adventure. So I have talked for probably 40 minutes now, so I'm going to end the video here. As always, subscribe for more content if you are interested, and follow my socials to see what I'm up to on a daily basis. Otherwise, I will see you every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I love you to the moon and back, forever and always, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.